Hello, this is Adobe Illustrator CC 2021, Class Notebook Chapter 12, Using Brushes to Create an Ad. This is part number 2. Let's go ahead and dive back in. We just finished creating our pure mental up here, and we took away the stroke on that middle. So now we're going to go ahead and use some of the art brushes. So in our brushes panel, let's go up to the hamburger menu, and let's make it so we can see which ones do we want to see now? We want to show the art brushes. So let's show the art brushes, and let's go ahead and hide the calligraphy brushes. And now we're going to go ahead and go to the bottom to our brush library. We want to come down to decorative and choose elegant curl and floral, which is the bottom one. And let's go ahead and look at those by list instead of by thumbnail. And we want to go ahead and go down to find floral stem 3. And just by clicking on it, it's going to put it into our brushes menu. And we can go ahead and close that panel. Now with our selection tool, we're going to go ahead and select this path right here. Let's zoom in a few times so you can kind of see what happens. And let's do a shift and click so we can change them both at once. Now let's go ahead and click on the floral stem 3 brush. And you'll see that now it's going to apply both of those. Now let's go ahead and group those over in the properties. And we can do a click on the artboard and a Control S to save. And we've got our nice line has got a cool brush applied to it now. So now we're going to create our own art brush. Let's go ahead and jump over to artboard number 2. We just got some leaves on it. With the selection tool, let's go ahead and click on these leaves. Now in the brushes panel, we want to click the new brush button, which is the plus sign. And we're going to go ahead and we want to make it an art brush and say OK. And it's going to say, what do you want to call it? We want to call it tea leaves. And then we're going to say OK. So we want to deselect that by clicking out. Now let's go back to artboard number 1 down here at the bottom. We're going to grab our selection tool and we're going to shift select all these curved lines over the triangle. So I'm going to click the first one, hit shift, and I'm going to grab the other 2. And now I want to go ahead and click on the brush called tea leaves. So it's going to go ahead and apply those, but they are a little bit upside down. We are going to fix it. So let's go ahead and edit that brush. We're going to double click that brush thumbnail. And let's go ahead and make a few changes. Make sure preview is on so you can see what's going on. And we want to go ahead to do stretch between guides. Let's go ahead and start it, where it says start right here. Let's change that to 7.375. And let's go ahead and the book, leave it where it is. Let's go ahead and flip along right here. Let's turn that on, select that one. And let's go ahead and say OK. Let's go say apply to strokes, yes. So now it's going to go ahead and put that in there for us. Let's go ahead now and deselect. So click out on my artboard. So now we're going to make a new brush based on this tea leaves. So we're going to take tea leaves and we're going to drag it down on top of that little plus sign. It's going to make a tea leaves copy. Now let's go ahead and double click on that tea leaves copy. And we're going to change it just slightly. So we're going to tell it to scale proportionally instead. And say OK. So now we're going to, oh, we didn't select them. So let's go back and select those 3 tea leaves again and apply that tea leaves copy. So you see we're going to get slightly different tea leaves. So if you did it the right way the first time, you would have done apply to strokes. So let's go ahead and deselect. Now let's go ahead and select some of these other paths and make some of them tea leaves. and some of them into tea leaves copy. I make that one into tea leaves. So you can see we've got a couple different types of tea leaves going on, and that's pretty nice. Let's do a Control S and save, and make sure you've deselected everything. Next thing we're going to do is use some pattern brushes. So let's do a View, Fit Artboard and Window. In brushes, we're going to go ahead and we want to see the pattern brushes now. So let's come into our hamburger menu. Let's show our pattern brushes and go ahead and close those art brushes up. So you see we've got a couple here. With the selection tool, we're going to go ahead and grab that triangle here in the middle. Now let's go to the brushes library at the bottom of the brush panel. We want to find borders. We want borders that are geometric. Go ahead and show the list view and choose Geometric 17. There we go, Geometric 17. And let's go ahead and close that. Now we're going to go ahead and change that stroke weight to 2 points. Make it a little bit fatter. And we want to click the options of selected object, which is this little notepad right here next to kind of the picture. In there, we want to make sure your preview is turned on so you can see what's going on. Let's go ahead and scale that to be 120%. And I'm going to hit tab so you can kind of see it got bigger. If I zoom in a little bit, I can't zoom in, it's open. Let's say OK. So if I zoom in just a little bit, you can now see that this has got kind of some funky little triangle things going on. So we're happy with that. Let's deselect, click on the artboard and file save. And we'll pick back up with pattern brushes in the next video.